Hi guys, welcome back to the lab. This is Chris. Thanks for joining me. So the other day I ordered this camera mount that I thought we'd try out for a book review. First time using this. So about the books, what I got here are some business books or the business of product design. And then I have a set of books on sketching and sketching as an integral part of the design process. I tried to make this episode as approachable and accessible as possible, so all the books I'm reviewing are not technical manuals, just a great segue to our next episode, which will be looking at sketching. Here we go, let's get started. Our first book on the list, the Design Thinking Playbook, Mindful Digital Transformation of Teams, Products, Services by Michael Lubrick, hope I'm pronouncing that right. Going through the table of contents, you can see it goes through the basics of design thinking that we're familiar with, making the problem statement, understanding the users. But I think what makes this book go in a different direction is its focus on organizational thinking, like how to design an environment conducive to creativity, and what are the benefits of interdisciplinary teams. The whole book itself is like an example of the product design process, or the UX design process. And I think it's page 14. Like here's the double diamond. This idea of a pivot point when you are in a process of divergence. Like usually it's divergent methods of getting ideas. Like this is where you're kind of exploring, and then there's a pivot point. Like I'm glad he's talking about this because these are like huge concerns to like anybody who's doing any creative endeavor, like when to pivot to make the move into deciding on the top designs or your top choices that will be included in the work. Page 45, we have here, here you can kind of get an idea too about the design process. Like each one of these, right, are, I think this is great. Like each one of these are shows the design process that's iterative, but it also shows that that a process like this is inherently nonlinear. That's good to have like pictures that kind of explain these abstract notions like very clearly. Like that's what I love about this book. I found this book really helpful for like past UX design work. Okay, and so the next one is also by the same author, Michael Lubrick. The Design Thinking Toolbox, and this is more like a compendium of tools. You don't have to read it from beginning to end. Like not even this book. Not even the first book we looked at. You have to read from beginning to the end, because there's always something in there that you can kind of peruse and get something out of. We have and for all the books by Michael Lubrick, the Design Thinking books, it starts with a quick finder of a chart of tools, and this could be a good companion to the Design Thinking Playbook. And you find that the same tenets and through lines on the process established in the previous book are highlighted here. That we need to accept that some problems are complex, using systems and design thinking. He will go in into a lot of this work is inspired by systems thinking, which is using looking at the dynamics of networks and really getting a handle of the environment in which your product will be placed. I love these table of contents. You get an idea of what methods to use when, if you need to look at it for fast reference. This is just such a wonderful playful arrangement of a table of contents. Very creative and very clearly color coded. Of course, for every situation and problem is different and unique, so a lot of times certain methods can be used in several stages, right? I think that's the sort of idea of having this quick finder chart to show how dynamic the design process is and how nonlinear it is. So we looked at the business side of design, and hopefully your curiosity for other subdisciplines of design has piqued. These last 3 books will be devoted to methods of sketching, highlighting sketching as a creative act and sketching as a thinking tool. So this book is called Sketchbook, Conceptual Drawings from the World's Most Influential Designers by Timothy O'Donnell. And this book is a really nice change for some eye candy, inspiration, and for encouragement when we're running out of steam. The sketchbook profiles the sketches of some of the leading figures in all kinds of design, from packaging and logo design, graphic design, posters. This book shows how much experimentation really goes into good design and art. Here we're reminded about what it means to explore within the unstructured environments of our sketch pads. So much goes into the work behind the scenes that it's easy to lose sight of the fact that when we see a finished project, there's so much to the process to bring that to life. And this book really shows that. And really, like, even though there's so many digital tools out there, like, sketching has never gone away. This only shows how vital it is to play out scenarios when ideating and not to commit to the first idea that gets into the screen or the first sketch even. This is why we do sketches on paper with pen and pencil. O'Donnell really shows how sketchbooks are really a repository of ideas. They're private and secret, and sometimes you'll intend to show them, but most of the time it's just like fast sketches, fast iterations. The very physical act of drawing, sketching, and writing takes primacy in this work. And like you can see, packaging design and the preparation that went into that. I think O'Donnell does a good job here showing us sketching as a problem-solving tool. Even when you don't have the right look or design, sketching gives you some breathing room for play. Like for instance, we're going to look through Jason Munn's work. Here, this work by Jason Munn is profiled, shows Jason Munn working on album cover for a band that likes to tape or record over their old tapes, and it's a very meticulous process what they do. Like stitching music together over with old tapes using old 8-track tapes with film, right? But you can see here in the sketchbook to prepare for this idea that Jason Munn doesn't just land on the first idea, even though you may think to yourself, it looks good, that's creative. He makes iterations on that design to arrive here. I'm assuming that there is some kind of gap here. You can see like there's a conceptual gap here where maybe he's communicating with the client, or then he goes out for a walk with his dog, have a coffee or something, and then a day later he comes back and he's on to something new, trying to develop that idea further. But he keeps that concept with the film, the music tape, really front and center, and you can see how he develops that into the finished product. I really, really love this. Like this book really does a good job of that, and you can see this with the logos and the posters, promotional material. This is another one of Jason Munn's work, and you can see the finished work here, and just a lot of eye candy, a lot of inspiration for like making your sketches rough and having the permission to do so, having permission to make your sketches rough. Like you can see, like these are not really masterful pieces of art. Like there's no Picasso here. There's no no Dali. You know, just just real rough work with respect to these designers, of course. Like they're very good, but you can see that, you know, getting the idea down really is what is the idea here, and not committing to the first idea that you have, you know, iterating on those ideas, developing those ideas. I love this book for just, you know, it's like a breath of fresh air, just you know, just taking like a fresh shower, you know, it's like in the morning. It's just wonderful work. This next book by Brian Sullivan is The Design Studio. The Design Studio Method, Creative Problem Solving with UX Sketching. I'm really excited to show this one because now we're like in this section with showing the sketching books. Here we're back to that diamond shape, right? We can see this as a concept that we're becoming really familiar with. The idea of diverging, of getting ideas and then zeroing in on the best one, right? Like diverging, like having that brain dump. And Brian Sullivan wrote this book to help designers and other stakeholders on the project to collaborate through sketching and critiquing those sketches in a group setting. Creative solutions to problems often begin with some form of sketching. This right away should show you what this book is about. If we look through the table of contents, we can see creative thinking in a design studio, creative thinking with sketches, critical thinking in a design studio. So sketching is not only like a creative act, but is also a tool for creative problem solving, for critically thinking. No special skills required for sketching. This is available to anyone. On page 32 here, Sullivan even offers basic fundamentals of sketching, like these basic shapes in design that we're concerned with. I like to think of these as like the basic units of meaning in sketching. They're like morphemes in linguistics or languages. The basic fundamental units of meaning. And you can even concatenate them to convey bigger concepts and meanings. Like you can think of the container as maybe a drop-down menu, or you can think of the container as a sidebar menu. But if you put it in a larger container, that larger container conveys more meaning, and depending on what you put in there, you're conveying relationships. You just create, do that brain dump, get those ideas in. This last book is Sketching User Experiences by Saul Greenberg, Sheila Carpendale, Nikolai Marquardt, and Bill Buxton. I had this book for a few years now, and it's helped me do some of my earlier sketches starting out in UX design. I absolutely love this book for its eclecticism of approaches. What can you combine with sketches? Like how versatile is sketching? Like you can see, like you'll see in this book, how versatile sketching can be. You can come out looking at this book, seeing that sketching is more than a static medium. Here, they're talking about the design funnel. But this is by now a really familiar concept. This is like the double diamond. You got that divergence and then zeroing in on your designs. And your divergent thinking, using a brain dump, just get the quantity of ideas in that basket. And then he says choosing and reduction of ideas. This is also that convergence. You do this with either dot voting or some kind of other ways deciding as a group what will get included for further consideration. And we even got here, like you can even do animated sequences with static sketches by making a master template. And this is just so cool because like you can convey meaning over a sequence of time by building a master template and mimicking sliders or mimicking like sliding gestures to add new elements to a screen. Just really, really good, really useful book. It just shows you that this is like, you can do so much with sketches. Okay, well, that's it. That does it for this book review. I hope you really found something of value with these books, and that you are inspired to hit the road running with your sketch pads and your own sketches and get creating. So post a like, make a comment, subscribe. Peace.